History often tells us about kings, wars, and victories, but it rarely tells us about something far more powerful than weapons. Fear. Not sudden fear, but slow, silent fear. The kind that enters the human mind and stays there. Across civilizations, rulers learned a simple truth. People who are afraid stop questioning, stop resisting, and eventually stop thinking. This is the story of how fear became one of the most effective tools of control in human history. In ancient times, power depended less on armies and more on belief. Rulers presented themselves as gods, or chosen by gods. In ancient Egypt, disobedience was not just a crime. It was a sin against the universe. In Mesopotamia and early empires, laws were carved in stone, often displayed publicly, so people could see the punishment before they experienced it. Fear was not hidden. It was displayed. Public executions, harsh penalties, and strict rituals were meant to send one message: obedience keeps you safe. As societies grew more complex, fear became more organized. In medieval Europe, punishment was public and theatrical. Executions were not done quietly. They were events. Crowds gathered. Children watched. Fear was taught early, not to create chaos, but to create order. People learned where they stood, what they were allowed to think, and what would happen if they crossed invisible lines. Fear was no longer just physical pain. It became psychological. Religion has often been a source of comfort, but history shows it was also used as a tool of fear. The fear of hell, the fear of eternal punishment, the fear of being declared an enemy of faith. When fear is attached to morality, control becomes internal. People begin policing themselves. No gods needed, no chains required. Fear lived inside the mind. As societies modernized, fear evolved again. Public executions disappeared, but fear did not. It changed form. In the 20th century, governments learned that fear works best when people believe it is necessary. Fear of enemies, fear of invasion, fear of chaos. Propaganda did not always lie. It selected what to show and what to hide. When people fear instability, they accept authority. When people fear uncertainty, they accept control. And when people fear each other, they stop uniting. Today, fear rarely wears a uniform. It arrives through headlines, through constant urgency, through the feeling that something is always wrong. Modern fear is subtle. It does not shout. It whispers. And the most dangerous part is this: fear feels protective. People believe fear keeps them safe. But history shows fear often keeps people silent. History teaches us something uncomfortable. Fear works not because humans are weak, but because humans want safety. And fear offers the illusion of safety. The moment fear replaces understanding, power no longer needs force. This pattern repeats across civilizations, not because history repeats, but because human psychology does. Fear has shaped empires, destroyed freedoms, and controlled generations. But history also shows something else. Fear only works when it goes unquestioned. Understanding does not remove danger, but it removes manipulation. And that may be history's most important lesson.